What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
Hey, y'all. Happy Friday.
Yes, honey. Welcome to the month of May, honey. I saw a
Hey.
I saw a GIF on no, it was a little video clip on Essence on their Instagram site, and it had Effie from Dreamgirls
Come on,
talking
Effie.
about that you gonna love. You know that part, and she
Okay,
did
you know
that.
I know that part.
Honey, well, we
Oh, you
gonna
gotta
love.
love May. That
Yes,
sounded like
honey,
how
you
Kurt
gonna
Franklin
love
be saying May in his songs. How he be
me.
saying May.
Honey,
I
well,
love
y'all
it. I
gonna
love
love May and y'all gonna love the takeoff. We are back
it.
with another episode, honey. We are hitting you today with Bougie, Basic, or Burnt Out. Talks
Okay.
of travel limits. Now, y'all know how we do. My name is Branlyn. I am with Branlyn Dirmia, and this is my lovely co-host.
Hey, y'all. Hey, I am Tia Cooper of Tia Takes the World, and we're so happy to be here with you each and every Friday for the takeoff. Hey.
All right. And y'all know how we do on every Friday. Number one, we talk travel. Number two, we talk good things about travel. Number three, we
hmm
tell y'all a little bit about the business of travel and how you can make some
Okay.
money in
Okay. Ching,
travel.
ching.
Okay, with travel, get some clients with your life. And if you don't want to do that, at least get a little inspiration. Leave your couch, leave your house, leave your city, leave your state, leave the country, honey. Do all of the things. All right.
All of
Everything
the
that you
things.
can possibly do with travel. So we're super excited to talk to you about travel limits today. And we're
Mhm.
not gonna hold you. We're gonna get to the good stuff, get to the good part. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump on into our little motivation, Tia. What you got for the people?
Yes, yes, yes. So we like to start off the show with a little piece of motivation so that so that y'all can go into the things. Where we at with the motivation? Here we go. So knowing your limits doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise enough to protect your peace. Brand, tell
Okay.
me what you think about that. What made you come up with this one? I like that. Where are you going with this one?
I feel like sometimes, first of all, I'm a boundary girl. I believe in a good boundary. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
And when I feel like people have crossed my boundaries, I beep, 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 beep. I exit stage left, reverse, Terry, reverse. That is me, honey. So I feel like sometimes when I hear people talk about their limits, they feel
mm-hmm,
like they can't say them with confidence. They can't, they feel like it's wrong for them to have them. So I just think it's
mm-hmm,
just really important enough to make sure that not only do you have limits, but make sure you have them so that you can protect your peace of mind, your sanity,
mm-hmm.
your every your everyday flow, so you can protect your heart because everything you do comes
Mm-hmm.
from that, right?
That's
So what
true.
were your thoughts about it?
We talked about this on the show, and obviously Brandon and I are friends in real life, and me and her have talked about these things. I am a sometimes I don't set my boundaries girly. It's just something, I don't know. I as much now I tussle, but I don't like conflict. I do not like it makes me nervous. I start sweating and itching. I do not like conflict. If I can avoid it, then I like to. But I feel in knowing brand and in growing into the woman that I am today, setting limits helps you to avoid those conflicts. People knowing that you are firm in what you stand for and what you are about, that means that they can avoid the conflict because they know what you are about. So I don't think that, it makes me weak. I never have necessarily strayed away from setting those boundaries because it made me weak. It's been something that I just have been nervous of other people's reaction and how they would feel about it. I definitely have been a people pleaser in my past, but I know now in this big age of 35 that knowing your limits, it doesn't make you weak, but definitely makes you wiser, and it gives you a sense of peace and protection. And I like to be peaceful and I like to be protected. So I love this. And in travel, it definitely, obviously, we were talking all things travel. This right here, we don't get into it. This quote, it ain't, it ain't real bad.
Okay. Let me tell you, I love what you're saying there. I think it's so amazing just to even just watch our evolution as people
hmm
and like what we come. Because have I always had boundaries? I probably have had more boundaries than most, but I
hmm
also feel like the older I get, it's more like, yeah, that's actually a really hard boundary for me. Like I'm not about to be doing that.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite lines at work is like, I'm not about to do this with y'all today. Like, I totally get it. So you guys, travel isn't one size fits all. Some people can travel for months, others tap out after a weekend. Not every trip is built for everybody. And you know what?
Mhm.
That's okay. And
It's
in this
fine.
episode, we're getting into knowing about your travel limits, why it matters, how to stop forcing travel styles that just don't fit your vibe, whether you're bougie, basic, or straight up burnt out. It's time to travel just a bit smarter and not
Mhm.
harder. So
Mhm.
that's what we're doing today. And we're talking all things bougie, basic, or burnt out. And
Okay
there are
now.
of travel limits. All right.
Okay.
Um, so question for you, Tia. When did you realize you had a limit to how you travel? Any of your limits? When did you come across them? Was it like a moment, or did you already have them kind of like you already did like a self-reflection, a self-audit? So going into things you already knew.
I think it depends. There were different times that I learned different things about my travel limits. So I even talked about on the show my first time like really taking a very long flight was when I moved to Germany, and I had my assigned seat, which was an aisle seat. And there was this very kind black man who was sitting in the middle seat beside me. And he asked me, he said, "Can I please switch seats with you?" He was super tall. He was like, "I'm tall and this is a long flight. I just want to be comfortable. If you would please switch seats with me, I would be so grateful." And it was my first time really flying out of the country. I was by myself, and he, like I said, he was kind, and I was like, "Of course, I want you to be comfortable too." And then I got in that middle seat on the way to Germany, and I'm like in between two people. When I
Got
need to
them.
go to the bathroom, I got to ask you to get out. I'm trying to sleep. I don't know which way I want to put my head. Don't know where I can put my arms on the armrest. And in that moment, I said, this nice man got me. He got me good. Because at this point in 2025, absolutely not. Sorry, sir. I see that you're tall. I'm tall in my mind. I need to stretch out. So it's been different examples and times in my life that I've set those limits for myself. That was my very first one that I was just like, never again. You're not getting me like that again. What about you? What have been or what was a moment that you were like, absolutely no, hard stop. I'm not fooling with what y'all got going on.
You know, I also want to double back real quick. I don't
Okay.
know why people think short people don't need leg room. Like I'm a midget hanging from somebody's necklace, and I like to stretch my little legs out. I don't want to be folded up like a pretzel the whole time.
Okay.
I get that when I get put in the back seat, especially behind the driver, especially if he's somebody's son and I got to sit behind the
Mm-hmm.
driver. Like I get this all the time. Like us short people, we like to stretch out, just FYI. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Like everyone else.
like everyone else. For boundaries, I kind of always have prided myself on this person that is like, oh, I can do that, or I can try that. Like I'll try things.
Okay.
For me, I didn't have even thought about boundaries until my first vacation with two girlfriends.
Okay.
And we went to Jamaica. And
Okay.
my good girlfriend at the time, she said, "Yeah, my limit of time traveling is 4 days with any group of people."
Okay.
And now this was back in like 2013. That was my very first trip out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought about having travel limits until then.
Mm.
Like, and when she said it, I was like, only 4 days. So like we wanted to go farther, a little longer. She was like, girl, I got 4 days. 4 days. That's it. I said, oh, okay.
That's
And then I
amazing.
think then from there, I think I kind of was like you said, they happen in different moments, like whether you're on, it depends on the trip you're on, right? So in all these different cases, it happens in different places, but
Mm-hmm.
all right, different cases, different places. Okay. Did that by accident.
Come on,
But
phone.
I think for me, like I think I do a self audit. I do a self reflection. It's like, I didn't really like that. So won't do that again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Hmm.
That's really big for me. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and dig on deeper into the conversation. So our first topic today is how long is too long to be away? That was a good segue, honey, because I was just talking about my friends. So how long is too long to be away? Like, what's the perfect trip length for you before you start to burn out? Ooh.
I think it depends on, for me, it depends on who you with, get crunk, who you with, where you're going and what you're going for. I think that there are a lot of varying factors. I have been on
Mm.
trips with friends for 10 days. I've been on trips with friends for 3 days where I wanted to go home, and trips with friends for 10 days where it was okay. I think it also depends on the accommodations. Like, are we all staying together in a villa? Are we all staying together in one space? Because that gets to be a lot. Like, there are varying factors for me. I would say just on average, maybe like your friend 4 or 5 days, depending on the accommodation situation. 4 or 5 days, I'm like, all right, it's time to go home, time to get on with whatever I got going on. Like I said, if the accommodations are you got your own room, I got my own room. If it's more people to balance out personalities, it's a lot. I can't just say on a blanket statement what you got on it, because it's a lot of things going on in my head when we talk about this.
I think if we're talking group travel, for me with group travel, I would probably say my marker is definitely going to be 15 days. My max is going to be 15. My biggest max for a group trip. And when I say a group trip, meaning like we are all, to your point, we're all staying probably in the same location, villa, whatever. We're sharing accommodations, we're doing shared spaces, not a group trip like how me and you would host and you get to go back to your own accommodations by yourself, not something like that, but like we're traveling and we are housed together, grouped together. I think 15 days would be my max. Now I'm in love with me, so solo travel, I want to test the limits on that. I feel like I have done by myself a little over a week, at a week. I haven't done more than a week by myself, and I've been extremely like good with that. Like that has been like I feel like in my mind I can definitely do another week by myself.
Yeah.
For sure. So I think I want to try this 15-day solo and then see one good year. There's gonna be like Branlyn is gonna be out here by herself in a whole month and some change. And I just want to see how that goes. But
I'm glad
I
that you
think
brought that up, because that was my thought too. Like, again, those varying circumstances. When you're in a group, what does it look like? When you're by yourself, what does it look like? And listen, I'm a lover of Tia also. Like you said, you love you. I love me some me. Okay. I could spend time with myself all the time. I love me. Me and me be having fun. But in terms of travel, it's one thing to be by yourself at home. It's another thing to be out, like on your own, trying to navigate places. And I've traveled, maybe the most that I've done solo is 4 days, I believe, was a 4 day trip. And it was cool. I wasn't tired of, again, me. It was just like, I'm ready to get home and get in my bed. I'm ready to go home and eat some food that I am accustomed to. I'm ready to talk to some people face to face that I know. So some of those things would be the extenuating circumstances for just me by myself. But I love the idea of going out and tackling your limits by seeing how long you can travel by yourself. I don't know what mine would be by myself at this point. I don't know.
I have good faith in you, good belief in you. Like
I appreciate
I think you can do it. Like when I tell you I have absolutely loved, like I wasn't ready to leave Mexico for spring break and I was by myself for that trip. I think I was there 6 nights, 7 nights,
Okay.
6 or 7. Yeah. So I was there over right at a week by myself for sure. Japan for a week by myself, and that's traveling to multiple cities, hopping over. To your point, I also do things to break that up for me. Like my best friend asked me, why are you changing locations? Like, isn't that a hassle? And I do think changing locations actually helps in breaking that time
Yeah,
and space up. So
for
yeah.
sure.
But when I also say group trips, I'm thinking probably 12 or less for 15. I'm actually thinking sweet spot is like 8 people or less when I say 15 days. Just give myself some parameters. But you said you've been on group trips with folks for 10 days. So
And it worked, I think, for me, but I'm a group
But
trip
people
girly.
were in and out, right?
And some of them, like this last one that we just went to, the majority, it was five of us. Yeah, five of us. And two of them came a day after we landed. And we were all together all the time, like the whole time. But again, we had different rooms. There were different personalities. I think that matters as well. On the trip, when we went to a few different countries around Africa, it was almost 10 of us. But again, different personalities brought different things to the group. We all didn't do all the same excursions all the time. So breaking things up, we broke up where we were, the cities where we were. We broke up the excursions that we did. So variety added to the flavor and helped definitely in that. So, you know.
Gotcha. We got a one comment. Hey, L, welcome. Okay, so let's start here. She said she planned 3 weeks solo across Europe, but was burnt out after 2 weeks. Okay, did you happen to go home after the 2 weeks, like, or did you thug it out like that last week? You was like, I'm in it to win it. And then she also said for group trips, she got 5 days. That's all she got on it. $5 fine. That's all she got. It's 5 days on it. Okay, so I do have a question for you, Tia, because I've seen you in your married travel content bag. You've been in that bag pretty deep. So you and Travis take trips together. Shouts out to DJ King Cooper. Okay, you and Travis take trips together. Not trying to start an argument at the home. Do you have like a limit of how long you can travel with your man? And some people got that.
No, I don't personally have a limit. I know he has a limit on how long he wants to be traveling when he want to get back home and get to the regular degular. Like I think I put in a reel that we did a few weeks ago. I am the one to go travel when Travis is I can chill at the crib. And I'm like, you don't want to go take the world? And he's like, I don't have to. I'm cool. So he wants to come back, which then kind of spills over to when I need to get back because his attitude be in last place. So then we got to get back home. So as a married couple,
brother,
listen, as a married couple, yes, there is a limit because I know my husband. For me, not necessarily. I can keep on tripping, but like I said, there is a point that I get to where I'm just like, I can go home now. I miss home. I want to go lay on the couch, my couch, in my bed. Even though hotel beds be good and stuff, but your bed is your bed. Your things are your things. Like you think about traveling, especially as a married couple. He keep up with his things. He is a grown man, but I'm keeping up with all of our things, trying to make sure you got your passport, you got your wallet, we got the key to the room, we got all of the things like it, and that becomes a lot more than when you at home and you can just lay your wallet on the counter. You know it's gonna always be on the counter. Your clothes always have to go in a certain place. You got to make sure that you go back to that certain place to get them instead of just throwing them in the dirty clothes. Whew, it can be a lot. So I don't necessarily have a limit, but because we are one, I then have a limit. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I sit on that.
Now, one of our viewers, Elle, she already told us that she planned 3 weeks and then burnt out after 2 weeks. She came back and told us that she definitely canceled her last destination and headed home. I'm not mad at you.
Listen,
I'm not mad at you. I think when you know your limits, I feel like, I have been on trips and I have looked at people who clearly have met their limits. And I'll be thinking to myself, it's okay for you to change your flight.
Sometimes, unless you're gonna pay for some stuff that you can't get back, you gotta suffer.
Now you gonna stay. Now don't stay here with your bottom lip on the floor. Like pick that up now.
Pick it up.
Yeah, pick that on up now. So, okay. So now you spoke about like the environment around your stay. Does your travel style change with each of these people? Or are you like the same body of work in travel? Regardless of who you're traveling with.
Let me come back to it again.
So does your travel style change with the people you're with? So maybe you are into a little bit longer trip outside of Travis. Do you feel like like other people's travel personalities and you kind of shorten it? Or do you keep your boundary like, nope, everywhere I go, I'm going to do this because this is what I want to do? Or is it like these people are joining me and I know they ain't really feeling it? So
It depends. I think for the most part, especially now, for the most part, what I will do is say, I'm going to do this. You don't have to. If you want to, join. If you don't, I'll catch you later. That is one thing that I will say. One of my homegirls actually got on me. I don't remember when it was, but she was like, "You don't have to tell us that we can or cannot do it." And I'm like, "That's just my way of, again, conflict. I don't like it. So I'm just giving you an option. I know that you don't have to, but I'm telling you, do not feel obligated. I will not be upset. I will not be mad. I can go. I even tell Travis that, like, on a trip, you want to stay?" And he's gotten to the point now because we know each other. He's like, I know she being serious when she tells me if I want to stay, then I can. Because I so much rather that somebody stay behind that don't really feel or understand, or it's not gonna be like, if you're gonna be, like you said, your lip gonna be poked out, do not come, because you're gonna ruin what I got going on. So stay if you want to stay. And I am so open to giving people that room and space. And I'm so confident in myself in traveling that I can go do my own thing. So I don't necessarily change the whole trip, but I definitely give people the opportunity to decide, what you want to do.
And I will say about Tia, you're a very concerned traveler, like a friend who travels. Like, you are very concerned about the well-being of other people. I feel like and guys, I just want you to know, we both host trips, but we're talking about like our personal dynamics in trips. Like our personal private trips that we do. But I do know, Tia, you are very concerned about everyone. Like, it looks like you're not having fun. Like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, how can we uplift you? I'll be over there like, oh, they mad. They always mad. That scene from Eve's Bayou. Who mad? They mad? They always mad. Like,
but that's something that speaks to you and your travel limits. And that's something that I've had to actively try to pick up, that I appreciate about you, but that's just me, that's me in life anyways.
Yeah,
I'm always concerned about people. I am an empath so bad, like people's feelings will get on me and I'll be like, oh man, what's going on?
Shake that double off.
I'm starting to learn more from friends like Bran. Like, you can't be letting them impede on what you got going on. So yes, I definitely, like I said, for the most part, before, I would definitely check on people, see what they had going on, see if I could fix it in some kind of way. But if you giving me booty to kiss, cool. I'm going out on my own. I will give you the chance to try to let me rectify it, especially if I'm hosting a trip. But if we're on a trip all together that I didn't necessarily plan, which that is very rare that happens. But if it does happen,
a resident planner.
Listen, how do you move in those? Well, you told us how you move in those spaces.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like suck it up, buttercup, or catch a cab, or a flight.
So what do you do when in your group trips that are, in your group trips that are personally planned, and in your group trips that you host, like, how do you switch that on and off? I find it very difficult to switch mine on and off from who I am personally and then business.
Because one of them is a service I'm providing as a professional. So if I'm planning this and we all just kicking in, y'all ain't pay me to do this. Like, everybody is out here for themselves. Okay. I'm about to go do this. You still mad? You might not want to come. If you don't want to come, you want to leave early, you should catch a cab. It's a little expensive by yourself. Mm-hmm. Would you like to go to a bar and get a drink? I don't mind meeting you after. Like, I don't mind giving you options, but I'm also not about to just trips. I feel like trips are rare air, right? Even though we travel frequently, trips are rare air. Like, when am I coming back to this place in this space? And I don't want the memory of this whole entire experience to be like, dang, we really was focused in on old girl trying to make sure, old boy trying to make sure they was good. Like, I don't like a whole bunch of tiff taps, no roughs. We ain't got to be fighting. We ain't got to be doing all types of things. Like, I don't like all that, because this is my trip that I paid for. Yeah. And so I just kind of feel like, but professionally, can I go on a trip and you have some concerns? I'm gonna do everything in my power to resolve them. If your concerns are with me, or even if your concerns are with the vendor that we chose, we're going to see how we can best rectify it. And if there's no reasonable solution, I am working on that part of me. Cause, like, example, we were in Bali, and this is probably going to keep coming up because this is one of my last girl trips, and we were there for 12 days.
Ooh, I didn't
But
realize y'all was there that long.
we was there for 12 days. But
Mm-hmm.
when we first got there, I told everybody before the trip, I told everybody to take one bag and one carry-on. But then because I knew we were staying in places like tree houses and stuff like that, you don't need 2 bags of luggage. You don't need 100 pounds of luggage with you.
Mm-hmm.
But
and you don't want it too.
The car that we had did not have enough space for all the luggage. So on our first trip out, we had to leave our luggage at the hotel. Like, and I'm doing the girls are like, is our luggage gonna make it? I hope so. Like,
inshallah.
That's all I got for you. I hope so. My luggage is with your luggage, so it's not like I'm taking a chance without you. But I highly recommend you take any major valuables out of that bag. Like, and he said, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm calling my cousin. I'm gonna call my cousin. He gonna come pick up the bags. I didn't hire the cousin. Like, anyway, that's this is part of travel. But I'm working on a better poker face for my people. So I have one last question, and then we can move out of this segment.
Okay.
Because it came to me while you were talking. Okay. So if everything went wrong, who is the person you would be traveling with, and for how long you could travel with that person or a group of people? Like, what would be the group or person that if everything went to ish, like, how long could you be with them if everything was going wrong? And who would it be?
I want to take the safe route to say Travis, because if everything is going wrong, then I can. I just know whether it's financially, I can depend on him. If I need to holler and fuss, I can do it on him, and I can apologize for it later, and he'll understand, or he will tell me to calm down and figure out a solution. I want to say my husband. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Good answer.
And that is a true answer. It's not I wanted to say safe answer, but it's not even safe. It's a no-brainer, actually. Like, we balance each other out so well in every part of life, like travel, just regular life. Like, we just balance each other so well. So if in any situation everything is going wrong, I'm gonna need my rider with me. I'm gonna need him. But if I'm getting a little risky with my Elsa and I gotta choose some people, I would say this last group trip, actually, that combination of people, because some things did go wrong, and I was looking like, now granted, I planned the whole trip. I did not book the trip for everybody. Not all portions of it. I left certain things up to everybody, because I'm like you just said, we're going here for leisure. This is not business. Granted, some parts of it, I did get my little commission off of, shout out to my business. But for the most part, we were just traveling as friends, and some things did go wrong. And immediately I was like, I feel bad, because granted, I didn't book anything for anybody. I planned the things, and I felt bad. But immediately they was like, girl, it ain't your fault. You didn't do it. And I was like, huh. I like literally breathed a sigh of relief. And I thought about all the different people that I could have been traveling with if this situation had happened. And I realized how much more stressful it would have been.
Mm-hmm. And you know how our friends, not our friends, but our people of color do, right? They be like, and she's supposed to be a travel agent. She's supposed to be this. She say this her business. Dang.
Real quick. I ain't booked nothing for nobody, but now it's all of a sudden my fault. But no, these people, I've never, as many times as I've traveled, I have never seen something like that happen. And I was so grateful for them, because I could have been because I'm such an empath, I could have been so bogged out about it. It wasn't my fault. They could have made me feel like it was my fault. They could have done all of the things like you just said. And they didn't. They said, girl, things happen. It's not your fault. Where are we going? What are we about to do now? And I said, y'all my type. I gotta travel with people like y'all more. Now, I've traveled with great people. Like, I'm just saying, everybody handles situations differently. I've just never seen a handling of a situation like they did. Shout out Toya, Marcy, and Dime. Y'all did that. So
I was about to say, you was holding on to the name.
I'm gonna shout them out.
Okay, so now here's the question. So actually, I ended up transitioning into our second segment already, which was great.
Okay.
But now, just to tie it back to the first one, how long could you be with each of these? So your husband and everything going wrong, how many days? Marcy, Toya?
Oh, girl, you getting me to it now.
How many
Each
days?
of them differently. Each of them differs
Yeah.
amounts of days because of what I like to do.
Oh,
Joy and Marcy, they be down. They be down for stuff, and Don be down for stuff too. But like on some trips, I'ma wanna go hike up a mountain, and everybody might not want to do that all the time. That's all.
mhm.
I could travel with it. It just depends on the trip that we're going on. But they be down. All three of them be down for pretty much whatever. So actually, I don't know the time limit. I don't know the time limit, but I would be down with them in case anything goes wrong. So.
Gotcha. I would say for me, if everything is going to ish,
Mm-hmm.
my travel person is Phoebe Snow. I met Phoebe in like 2015, maybe before.
Mm-hmm.
I can't quite remember now. It's 2015. It's 10 years this year.
Okay.
Met her at we were working together over the summer, and our first trip was actually to Vegas. And we went with a girl who we said we would never travel again with her, but we've been literally traveling together for years. And I could be with
Mm-hmm.
her with everything going to crap because,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest, I think we just respond very much in the same way. And we be mad at this, like the anger is always directed where it's supposed to
We're
be.
supposed to be.
Like, and we be on it be like, so what now? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I ain't saying it, she's saying it. Like, I was thinking it exactly. Like, it's like a amen corner kind of thing.
I love it.
Or
Okay.
and like for both of us, it'd be like, now you tried it. Now you know good and well, like what? And she
Yeah.
and we both be like, okay, so adult nap time. Okay.
You ready? We napping? Okay, cool.
Now Phoebe does not like doing all the things that I like to do. She ain't interested in all that hiking and stuff, but she also ain't about to
Mm-hmm.
get left. So
Right.
she be like,
Right.
all
Right.
right, give me my moment. But Phoebe Snow, I'll take her anywhere and
And
with
how long could
everything.
you travel with Phoebe?
Actually, I think we could travel for quite a bit of time. We've actually done so many different variations. We've done some weekenders. We've done a week. She was with me in Bali for 12 days. Yeah, we know when we know when it's time to go have a drink. We know when it's time to go have a nap. We know
Mm-hmm.
when it's time to eat. Like, it's always very much in sync.
Mm-hmm.
As far as groups go, or more people, because to you, I would maybe Phoebe's my safe answer, but I would say Kim and Amara.
Mm.
That's my travel girl group.
Okay.
And I can go anywhere with them. No, it don't
Okay.
matter
That's
where
what's
it don't matter where we going.
up. Okay. I love to
It don't
hear
matter.
it. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm glad we
Amara
both
ain't trying
have
to get
our
left
pockets.
out. Kim is so easygoing. I'm probably the
Yeah.
most difficult person in the group. And I think
Mm-hmm.
we've only really had one trip where I was like, my attitude was probably like, would you say Travis' attitude came in
In
last
last
place?
place.
And it was
In last
because
place.
Devil's Pool in
Yeah.
Zimbabwe. It was closed.
Yeah.
My attitude sucked so bad, y'all. Who I have never seen my attitude like that. And
I
it's
know
just because
that's one of them times you get back and you be like, I showed out. I should
I
have showed out.
did. I mean, I didn't show out, but my attitude sucked really bad. And they tried
Yeah.
to make it up. They tried to hire a photographer for one of the activities we did. It was just my thought process was it was so expensive to get there that this is
Mm-hmm.
just not a place where you're just popping back
Coming.
to just because you
Mm-hmm.
missed this one thing. It's like
Yeah.
the next time I come here, I need to be in the vicinity and it
Yeah.
need to be a day trip.
Yeah.
So
Understandable. I get it. I get it. That's
mhm.
real. That's realness.
Yeah. Okay. So we've kind of talked about this before. You are into. Well, let me ask you this: what is considered a big group? What's a big group for you to travel with? Not
To
hosting.
travel, okay, not hosting. A
Not
big
hosting,
group,
but
group to travel with is more than 10. And
more than two.
okay, again, nuance. I believe that if it's a group of friends, like one of our groups of friends is 10 of us in there. So if we go somewhere, like that's not a big group to me because that's who we talk to, like that's who we be with when we go out sometimes. So that's not
Oh,
a
that
big
was a
group.
big group to me. Mm-hmm.
That okay, well for me it's not because
Mm-hmm.
it's familiar. You know, if it's familiar, then it don't seem as big. It seems like you're at home with your brothers and sisters or something. It don't seem like a
Mm-hmm.
super big family to people who are in it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's strangers, more than five, or not
Mm-hmm.
strangers, people that you don't travel with, more than five feels like this is a big this is okay. We got to navigate this. Let's figure this out. What
Mm-hmm.
about you?
Big group for me, I would say 8. 8 feels big, even if I know y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels,
What is the bigness about it? Why does it feel big to you? What is that?
it's a lot of personalities moving around at one time. And I think I almost low key would rather 8 be strangers or semi strangers than 8 be a whole bunch of people I know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we definitely defer in that thought, and that's only because sometimes I feel like your friends are a little too familiar, and they feel like they can say some things out the side of their neck when they probably should not have. They lose the filter when you're with people you don't know. You're a little bit more hesitant to say some rude. I'll be wanting to say bad words sometimes. Some rude ish. Okay.
I feel you, but I feel like that line when it does get crossed by those strangers, and you like, now hold up, I don't know you like that. Who you talking to, or
But I also feel like now. I also feel like we the type of people to be like, now wait a minute, now I don't know you like that. Now wait,
now,
we crossing new boundaries. Hold on, friend.
What
You knew.
said to me? What you had said about me? You had said something. I didn't hear you.
But I also feel like that don't necessarily happen. That don't necessarily happen well in the right pocket of time. Because I do feel like after day 8, 10, I feel like that's the honeymoon period when it ends with groups. I feel like by day 8 and 10, real life is impeding on other things that's happening in the trip. Your attitude is shifting. You're missing your bed.
You are traveling with strangers for 8 and 10 days?
I have. Well, yeah, I've done one of those expat explorer type of things. We're not in the same.
Okay. Yes. But okay.
I wouldn't mind. I'm the type of. I grew up on Real World Road Rules Challenge. Put me in a house with all these people for over a month. Let me try to win a car. Them Toyotas, whatever that Toyota car was they had back in the day. Let me get one of them.
Lord, not real.
Win in the Big Brother house.
Come on, Big Brother.
No, okay. So big for you is about 12. Yeah.
Over 10. Yeah. 12 definitely, for sure.
10 to 12.
That's a big group. Yeah.
I'll give myself 8 to 10. I think 8 to 10 is big. Now, for my 40th birthday, I'm open to a larger group of people if we travel.
Really?
I'm open to a
larger. Okay, so with something like that, we're not going off script, but okay, so for something like that, how do you navigate your travel limits? Because it is for you, and then you're talking about bringing in more people than you are normally comfortable with. How does that work with your travel limits? Because at the end of the day, this is a trip that's about you, that's supposed to be catering to what you want and need. But then if somebody go off the handle, somebody got a toot on an excursion, somebody got things going on, do you have do you have a liaison that like handles those things for you? Do you have someone appointed to, hey, I need you to be my sugar honey iced tea crusher. I need you to do the thing.
I feel like I'm a bulldog by myself.
For sure, but on a trip that's for you, you want to be doing that?
I just kind of feel like, I also kind of feel like you send the invites to the people that are going to feel you, uplift you, and protect you.
Fair.
I don't think for something like this, that is every casual person just gets an invite. This is not because people number one, there's a lot of things to take into consideration. People are spending their money. You are asking them to take time off of work, possibly from their job. So this is also a part of their vacation. For me, I do have very strong boundaries. I also exist in that space like you, like, hey, this is the plan for today. You do not have to participate. You are welcome to excurge on your own. Okay. I shall be doing this. And I also don't mind letting people know. I'm the type of person that also lets people know, like, if you have to miss something, miss this, because I would rather you at this. Like, you just kind of I think communicating to people like exactly where you would like them to fall, because especially if you pick a destination where people haven't been before and they kind of might want to step away from the group. But I just feel like, number one, I think I will also say this about myself, pat myself on the back. I think I do a really good job with putting the right people together.
You do great with pairing, for sure.
Yeah. So I feel like for like a 40th birthday trip, I think it's going to turn out great. But I do feel like people who would receive an invitation are definitely like they are the top tier of the people that pour into me, protect me, fulfill me. They support me. They my cheerleaders. They wipe tears. They get me together like you tried it. You know what I mean? But they also recognize I love travel, and I don't think they're gonna bring
I
they
hope I get an
BS unless
invite.
they absolutely have to. You said what now?
I said, I hope I get an invite.
Inshallah, child. Inshallah. Inshallah, girl. I mean, let's get out of this. Let's get out of this muddy water, okay? Have you ever realized somebody was a bad travel partner mid-trip?
Yes. Wait. Oh, this was a bad idea. But you know what? To that point, I ain't even gonna hold them. I knew they was a bad travel partner before I let them come on the trip.
You know what? Oh, Tia, you done said something, because it's like I feel like I've had people where I was like, maybe they ain't gonna act up. They not gonna act up.
And then get on a darn trip and act up.
It's like that little girl. You remember that video? I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. She end up doing it anyway. That's what it gives sometimes. I be like, oh, girl, she's showing her suit. You showing all them stripes, huh?
Showing your slip, baby. I can see all up under that dress. You was showing your slip.
Ooh, so yeah, country with that one.
So I have been in that situation.
Slips no more. Funky Daniva was talking about slip the other day.
I was talking about slip the other day. A Brazil and a slip. I saw it. I said,
honey, well, I must be mature, honey, because Georgie taught me a different kind of way, honey. We believe in a little slip.
Okay, I put on the slip. Okay. Now, but again, to that, I have experienced people being bad fits midst of the trip, but the people that I have experienced being bad for the group have been people that I already suspected were going to be bad for the group before we even started out. And it was a thing like, Tia, girl, people even asked me before the trip, you sure? And I said, it'll be fine. It's okay. Go with
to your point, I do think I try to offset that energy with everybody else, though. Like like everybody else is literally probably gonna make up for the energy that one particular person can bring. Like, to your point, they probably have limits, and then because it usually starts off well, and then it just kind of starts declining at some point. It didn't start off well for you, or we're not in
all situations. In some situations, but in this particular situation I'm thinking about, no, it was bad from the beginning. It should have never been a pairing. This cheese should not have gone with this wine. These grapes did not go on this charcuterie board. It was not. Yeah, no. It was no.
Oh man, I ain't never had that.
And but to be fair, generally what you are saying is correct. That you can pair it up with other personalities and you can kind of calm it down. And because we are group aficionados and we put things together, we know how to do that. But in this particular situation where I knew I shouldn't even done it, absolutely not.
It's the look off to the side for me, like, dang, man, like,
bruh. Because I'm disappointed in myself because I shouldn't have done it.
I knew better.
And I told myself, don't you do it. And I did it anyways. Here we are.
Did it anyway. I wonder if I know about this trip. I can't wait to debrief after, because I feel like there was one trip you had and I said, don't do it. Don't do it. And maybe it's the same trip. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I ain't gonna do it.
I ain't gonna do it. I'm telling you where it go back to. Them boundaries from that first quote. Because it's like you be trying to feel for the people, right? You trying to feel. Like,
I need to let Grace. I need to leave her alone. I'm tired of Grace. At this point, Grace, go ahead somewhere. Don't be coming around here.
Grace and Greenleaf, honey. But okay.
Now that was a Grace that we really don't need to be tolerating. But anyways, that's another story for another day.
Another story for another day, honey. You know, that's wild. You know, like who you travel with. This is the part of the name of this segment, you guys. Those of you that are just tuning in, who you travel with definitely matters. I've seen some trips go left. I can honestly say I don't think I've had the experience Tia has had. Personally, that expat explorer trip that I was telling y'all about.
Okay.
Originally it was supposed to be me and one other girl. We had just moved to Abu Dhabi, and I went with her and one other person we met when we first got here, and our first trip was Sri Lanka. And so that summer we were like, oh, where are we
my
gonna
first trip
go?
out here too.
I guess, honey, I ain't been back. I need to go back because I need to revisit because I don't think I did that right. I was a new traveler back then. We need to see what it's like with the mature travelers, honey, the people who wear slips and brassieres, But we ended up doing this expat explorer trip, which was like backpacking through Europe for like over 12 days. And all of a sudden it was just me and her. And then all of a sudden it became like 10 of us on this trip. Like 10 or 12 of us. It was, yes. So people who lived here. So I got placed in Abu Dhabi. She got placed in Al Ain, but we kind of have maintained a friendship. But once she moved to Al Ain, which is another city in the UAE, you guys, she ended up meeting new people and new friends. And of course, we hadn't really, we were still friendly, but we hadn't built that friendship that she was building with all these other people. So when I hit her up about this trip, she also invited other people. So it was like, and she came back later and said, she was like, are you like, would you be okay if I wasn't? Now, we talking limits and boundaries. I have learned that when I'm not okay with somebody traveling, I tell people, like, no, they can't travel with me. Like, no, I don't think I am okay with that. Now, that is something I've had to learn.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you bring up this trip, or was it just something y'all both found and were like, hey, yeah, I'm going too? Or were you the planner on this trip? Not the planner, but you had put it out.
Because the trip was pretty much planned. Yeah.
Because that makes a difference. That makes a big difference.
Yeah. I was the one who kind of researched it, did the pricing. And like, I was like, yeah, we can pull this off for this price. I don't think it's bad, blah, blah, blah. And each stop, you have this. And I remember people came on the trip. So these types of trips, they usually do charter buses to get between each country. We had to take a ferry at some point. Yeah. So some people were a little blown that they were on a charter bus for longer periods of time.
But Expat Explorer said it has pictures of. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
But that's because of how you got the information. So, hey, you want to go on this summer trip, and we're going to be going to Europe, and blah 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 blah, and that's about it. That's all you paid attention to. Oh, we're going to all of these different countries, blah blah blah. So then the other thing that people complained about on this trip that also annoyed me to a degree was all of the add-ons on the trip. Okay. So with Expat Explorer and companies like this, there's some other ones that are a little bit more adult friendly. They be drinking. But this one, they give you a base itinerary, but then in each country, there's add-ons.
Right. So like you can do like excursions, right?
Exactly. But some of the excursions are things that you absolutely want to do, but it costs a little extra money to do it. Right. And so people were complaining about that. And it was just like,
do it. Easy.
I think it was my first experience with all of these people that I didn't invite, and hearing all of their complaints on things that were already clear. Like, and the crazy thing, I think we kept saying, like, this was the whole reason we chose this, so that people had options. Because like one of the places had been Paris. I've been to Paris. I don't want to forcibly be placed on a tour that is going through the tour circuit of Paris. And I think I didn't that first day. I think that first day I went to Versailles. I caught the train to Versailles, and then I took a walking tour. That's how I found Montmartre, that neighborhood. And they did something completely different. Now, she went with her new friends. But that first day, because I did everything by myself and she had left with them, they went to Versailles, which is where the Hall of Mirrors is, the castle. But they left early. They only saw the Hall of Mirrors and they left. I'm out here being very Parisian. I am riding a bicycle with a basket. I'm eating crepe with Nutella in the middle of these large gardens. I found a whole nother palace on my little bike.
Okay, bike tour.
Okay, it was a good time. And I met up with them after. They were like, you did all of this? She was like, I'm not going to hang out with them for the rest of the trip.
Oh, no. Go on with your friends. Go on over there with your little friend.
Okay, but no, that was the introduction to limits of people for sure for me, because it was just too much going on.
Yeah,
too much going on. And then I learned recently that it was some whole other shenanigans that happened. Girl, people was throwing fits. I said, not tantrums.
Ain't got nothing to do with me, baby.
Not tantrums. Okay, so let's slide on in to our third part of our segment. Okay, so we're leaving Who You Travel With Matters, and we're moving into, are you really built for budget travel? What are your comfort limits? Okay, so Tia,
Branlyn,
what the bare minimum of comfort You need to enjoy your trip. Bare minimum.
Because I don't know exactly what you're asking me, you start off and tell me what your bare minimum of comfort is, because I have so many things going on through my head. So you start. What is your bare
No,
minimum
let's
of
let's
comfort?
let's work through your thoughts. Let's work through your real
Okay.
thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
Bare minimum. We talking like hotel, hostel, like can you be camping out in the wilderness type of comfort?
Okay.
Um,
Starting off with accommodations. I mean, I've done all of those things, and I know ways that you can do them that can be comfortable. So I've stayed in. Now that was one of them was glamping. I have stayed out in the wilderness in a glamping type situation. So I don't really think that that is budget travel, to be honest. Um,
because
could I
glam.
stay in a camping situation? Just depend on who out there to help me if something happens. Okay. If a snake come up, do somebody know how to de-arm this snake from the venom that it
The
has?
snake doesn't have arms.
But a ching. Does somebody know how to handle this snake? Do somebody know how, if we get stuck out here, do y'all know how to make a fire? Okay, we on Survivor. Do y'all know how to do the things? Is what I need to know. If we're talking hostels, I've stayed in hostels before. Shout out to the Flying Pig in Amsterdam. That was my first hostel experience. Amazing experience. Now I will say that I stayed in a hostel with rooms of 4 with my friends. So that was a different experience than other people's hostel situation where they stay in a room with people that they don't know. And I do know that there are hostels where you can get your own little suite, like your own room, like it's a hotel. So I could do that again. Now, my husband, since traveling with me, has made a declaration that he only wants to stay in franchised places. Like he, baby,
Not even
Travis don't have too
franchise,
many.
boys.
Travis has made it clear from when we went to Vietnam, we stayed at a boutique hotel, which had reviews online that were very good. But since we've had to take off, we had someone that commented a few weeks ago that said, "Who, where were the people from that put these comments? Like, where were they from?" Which is a tip for y'all if y'all missed that show. Look at where the countries are from. If you're looking on like a Booking, Expedia, wherever, look at where those reviews are coming from, because a French person's review of comfort and space is different from an American's view of comfort and space. Okay, a 10-meter room is comfortable and spacious to somebody that would think that it was a box. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about those types of things. But we stayed at that one hotel, and Travis said, "Don't you ever put me in a hotel like this again. I only want to be in name brand hotels." I said, "Hey, if you're paying for it, I don't really care. Whatever." There's that. So it just depends on also who I'm going with. But I consider myself a budget lux queen. I travel on a budget all the time. My
You
budget.
know, T, you
So
done said something there. Speaking from a single lady's perspective, I
go
don't
ahead.
think I've taken much thought or consideration in the fact that when me and my man, honey, that I'm speaking to existence, check.
Come on.
When we get to traveling, like my travel style might have to shift a little bit because he ain't gonna like my little pod stay.
Which I could do a pod. Travis is not trying to do a pod. When we go to Japan, he is not gonna want to do a pod. He gonna have to do one night. That's just it. Or he gonna have to stay at the hotel and pay for my pod. Whatever. I don't know if he's still watching, but just setting you up for what's coming. So there's that. So those are things that you gotta. That your travel limits might change because what you like right now might look different because your group looks different. Now your group is your man, and what he like.
My group is my man. That's a
Mm-hmm.
whole affirmation, honey. My group is my man. Oh,
Listen.
child.
So what is your, you talked about the bare minimum. What's yours? Because I still don't even think that we worked through my I don't know. I don't know. It
Well, I
depends.
think I think we've said some very important things, and I actually agree. This is one thing I think we both agree on. Number one,
Not one thing.
we be having differences of opinions. We see things differently.
We do, we
Um,
do.
so I would say in this case, I agree with everything you said. Like I can stay in all of these places. I am happy to stay in all of these places. What I would add to build on what you were saying, I think I do have limits in each of these places. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't mind going and staying in a tree house. I just know that we're not going to stay there for 12 days. We're probably not going to
Absolutely.
stay there for 5 days. We're
Mm-hmm.
probably going to stay there for at least 1 to 2 days, for me to do whatever I need to do and kind of move on. Like, so for example, even when I went to Bali, we did a treehouse, which was tough for some people who went along with us. They knew it was a treehouse. I'm gonna just go ahead and jump this in here because Travis said you're gonna have to pay for. He meant pod, not podcast. We thank you for your contributions. You can contribute to the podcast anytime you like. That man said pod. And he did ask this question. It's okay, Travis. Another time we'll explain.
It's nothing to explain, honey. I said we were trying to prevent it from being in last place, honey bear, sweet thing.
But yeah, so some of the girls were not feeling the treehouse at all. They knew it was a treehouse. I sent them to the Netflix special in which the treehouse was aired. And I think when they got there, they realized, oh, this really a treehouse. Low-key was a grass house because bamboo is made of grass. But, it was a treehouse. And they definitely asked reception, where's the closest hotel?
Bamboo is made of grass.
Bamboo is grass.
It's a strong piece of grass.
It is. It is. But they ended up staying at a hotel for the one night we stayed in the treehouse, and they were absolutely fine with those things. Okay, so
they stayed in a hotel one of the nights that you were supposed to be in the treehouse. You said, because they didn't like the treehouse. You also stayed in a hotel that night too. Oh, okay. As long as everybody was okay with their accommodations, then okay.
I told you when it happened, I really was like, when we got there, because for me, I had already explained all of this. I knew we were staying in the treehouse. I knew the group of people we were going with. I knew one night was going to be the max for everybody. I actually could have did 2 nights there. I probably could have did 3 nights, to be honest.
So wait. So y'all's whole setup was supposed to be only one night? And they did not choose to stay that one night. They chose to stay in the hotel instead.
Their spirits were lifted. When I tell you they didn't have a heaviness on them. The cloud wasn't on them. They had a little bit of privacy. It was in walking distance. The hostel, I think, to be honest, the way they responded almost was like they are low-key used to having people get here and realize like this ain't really for me. So
the treehouse people.
Because they were like, yeah, you can, there's a hotel here. And then there's another little situation. And she was like, can you help me book it? They had space. She booked it. She stayed with us in the common area till it was time for her. I think she had a meeting or something and she was out. It was, I was perfectly fine with it.
I mean, that's a fine situation. We talked about this earlier, like people going off to do their own thing. It's not a for me, but what I would have been thinking about to myself is it don't even, I was about to say it don't even matter, but we talking travel. I just don't understand why people do this. And maybe people in the comments can share, and it's your right to get somewhere and it be different than what you expected. Like I said, for the hotel room I was just talking about, it was different than what we expected, not in that it looked different or the comfort. It was exactly what we saw online, but the comments made me get a different vibe than what it actually was. I also don't, but for me, I wouldn't have wasted money to go somewhere else for one night. Like, even if you got to sleep in a treehouse.
I would challenge us to say this, because this episode is all about travel limits, right? She knew her limits. And so instead of her putting herself through something she did not want to do, she was uncomfortable with, she was not interested in. And I think she was really open-minded to it until you got there and you realize there's really no privacy. There's no, this ain't no independent treehouse. It's not by itself.
Can you break it down, the treehouse situation? Or maybe you guys send me the Netflix, but what is the not privacy part of it? Because maybe I can understand this person a little bit better.
So the treehouse, the location that we went to is called Firefly Bali, I think. And so they actually have villas that are located inside, which is inside. They're like an inn. So the doors lead outside, but they're inside encompassed. The bathrooms are all outside. And that's in the reception area. And then they have some more individual pods Again, a lot of it outside. Bathrooms are outside.
I mean, but
I
a lot of things in
specifically
Bali are
wanted to
like that, right?
correct. So everything, it literally in the packet that I sent out my friends, it talks about how Bali is a very indoor outdoor space. Like all of this boho chic thing that you like from Bali, all of it's outside. Everything leads inside and outside. And and I literally put in the packet, if you hate bugs, I'll be your bug killer, because we are going to encounter bugs. Like this is not a everything we booked said there will be bugs, geckos, lizards, other animals that live in the jungle, because it's a jungle. Literally everything we booked said that. Okay. But they also have a bamboo tree house that has, they call them pods. The biggest one is on the bottom. Clearly it has to be shaped like this to have sturdiness. The biggest one is on the bottom. There's another one here. There's another one here. And there's another one at the top. And they had queen size, king size beds in them. And you had to climb up the bamboo steps to get inside of the pod.
To get in whatever your pod was.
Because
so
it was
on the way up to if your pod is number one, then you always got to see people shimmying up to their pods.
No, that's a good question. They actually have it arranged so that the entrances are all shifted like jigsaw. Okay. So the entrance to this pod is over here. The entrance to my pod was here. The entrance to somebody else's pod was here.
Gotcha.
Kind of like that. So you didn't see people going up, but you did have to climb. And because everybody wanted the treehouse experience, we actually ended up sharing beds for this particular stay. Except my homegirl Phoebe, because Phoebe ended up joining in on the trip a little later, and she was never down for the pod.
Okay.
She had no intention of joining the pod. And originally I had the pod as the very first night of the stay, like the first or the second night or the second set of nights of the stay. And actually I had told her, I said, so you could avoid the pod, you would travel on this particular date and then meet us someplace else. But she ended up joining the whole thing. And she actually got one of the rooms on the inside. So she was happy. I think for me, when the other girl saw everybody was not in the treehouse and that one person did or have a room separately, and she saw what that room looked like, I think it was like, I'm out. I don't gotta suck it up for the group. It's cool. And I was fine with that too. Like, girl, like,
were you the only one that ended up staying in the treehouse?
No. So out of the 5 of us, 3 of us did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
And
listen,
then one set of girls actually they were like, I thought when we said we were staying in treehouse, like they ended up on the bottom pod. They were like, I thought we were actually going to be staying up. And I was like, I didn't think you really wanted to climb, so I gave you the bottom one. And then they tried to climb to mine, and they were like, you were right. No. Yeah. You're right. Nope, this is good. And then it was a whole situation, right? Because it's bugs and everything. So we trying to close the mosquito nets. It was, yeah, she got a room that one night. I don't think it was a waste of money, only because I feel like the episode said this is travel limit. She knew a limit.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, know your limit. And they don't have to be the same as everybody else. So, and if it's your prerogative to pay for it, and you're in Bali, so the hotel probably wasn't that much, probably didn't lose all that much. You got your comfort. So go off. Just wouldn't have been me. But hey, you're traveling.
You know, I actually never asked how much it was. Was I supposed to? I don't think I was.
No. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking out loud, and I could be thinking out loud or wrong. Who knows? But again, I wouldn't know because I'd be in that treehouse. Heard.
I highly recommend the stay if you're willing to ride out a little bit out the way to go stay. It was very beautiful. The Netflix episode did a really good job of highlighting it, and it was the inspiration for my Bali trip, which is why we stayed 12 days.
A little shameless plug. Go off, B.
We try to do multiple stays there. We try to do a little tree house, a little modern villa, an eco bamboo house. So we try to do that.
I love it, B.
For that.
The people want you to do more trips because you be having unique stays. So go ahead, never unpacks. Get it popping.
One of the questions I had in this segment is, can you be a budget traveler and still be bougie? I would say yes. Absolutely.
Because for me, that's the whole premise of budge looks.
Yeah. I feel like I have limits on hostels. I have not really honestly stayed in when I say I haven't stayed truly hostel style. Like in a room with bunks and other people. Because even the pod stays in Japan, I kind of felt like it was a bit bourgeois. Like those beds moved
Mm.
and set up
Mm.
and stuff. Like it
You
wasn't
gonna
a
move the
bunk
bed?
bed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. So definitely budget traveler and still be bougie. We're down for that. And is being flexible a must, or do you believe in traveling the way you want? No apologies.
I mean, as somebody who often travels with other people, being flexible is a must for me. Um, yeah, and if I think if you're going to travel with other people, then you should be flexible. I think that's the courteous thing to do, but I also think it's your prerogative to not budge on your what you want to do. You can do that, but and if people that you're traveling with are cool with that, then cool. But I think that's a little bit obnoxious personally if you're gonna travel with other people to kind of sit in this is who I am, this is what I want, and that's it. Don't matter what you got to say. That's me, you know. What's your thoughts?
Um, yeah, I think flexibility is a must. I think it's also okay. I believe I'm also the type of person that believes in you're allowed to feel how you want to feel.
Mm.
So I feel like disappointment is normal. Things go wrong, so you have to be prepared to pivot, or to just suck it up at minimum, or put it on the next time you plan to be back. I think we got to get out of this mindset of I've been here, so I'm not coming back here ever again. Like
Mm.
places change and evolve, so it's always good to go back. So if something goes wrong, it's like, okay, well, when we run this back, whenever I run this back,
Next time.
next
Mhm.
time, yeah, for sure.
For
All
sure.
right, there
Yeah.
we're gonna lead into our travel confessions to wrap up this part of our show.
Confessions.
Yes, honey. Confessions part two. That was better than one, they said. So be honest. What's one travel limit you didn't realize you had until you crossed it? So, like too many activities, too many people, too little comfort, too much time away, or anything maybe outside of that list.
So I have two, which isn't just applied in travel. For me, period, point blank, I'm not a morning person. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that if you're staying at my home, if you are traveling with me, I don't care if I chose a tour that you have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I need you to give me a time to. I'm like a car. I need to warm up, or I'm going to break down. I'm not a morning person, and that's who I have been. I listen, reading Atomic Habits and 5 a.m. mornings and all of the things. I realize that you can work yourself into being that morning person. I am not there yet, but one of my travel limits is if it's early in the morning, give me a moment. I won't even say don't talk to me. Just give me a moment, and don't let that moment that I need be your thought of me as a whole person. Because I don't speak with a friendly like I am right now in the morning, because I have told you this, because I've given you this disclaimer, don't let that then go. And yeah, that's a travel limit for me. I just give me a chance to warm up in the mornings. That's what I need. That's what I ask. And if we can't get past that, then we can't travel together because that just is what it is. So that's one of them. And I'll pass it to you and then I'll come back with my second one.
Ooh, for a travel limit for me, um, I think it's realizing that I don't have to go on the trip, even after I said I'm going on the trip, especially with
Mm,
groups of people.
mm,
If I feel like the energy is off, and this has happened a couple of times, different times, and I've thugged it out, and I've been in places where I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have thugged this out because I'm not fully enjoying this. I'm annoyed before I even get here. It's like I'm bringing this the toughs or the confusion or the miscommunication into the trip.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think for me that's a new limit that has kind of happened. Things have happened in older trips for sure, but I think it's a new realized limit. Like you don't, it's okay to tell people, no, I think I'm gonna sit this one out. It's okay.
Mm,
It's okay to say that. But I feel like, on this quest of trying to check countries off a list and
Mm-hmm.
get my numbers to the numbers that I want them to be. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, let me just get here because this is already planned or this is already in motion. Why not? But I think I need to do a little bit better with saying, you know what? Next time, maybe, inshallah.
On my own time. Yeah. I get that. I feel you.
What's your number 2?
My number 2, and it's probably more so than even the morning thing because I can kind of thug past the morning thing sometimes. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, it's not a problem. Just FYI. I'm not a monster, guys. But no, I know this is the number one thing, not having a plan. That is a travel limit of mine. And I'm not saying that we have to have from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. has to be mapped out. That is not, it doesn't have to be that. But going somewhere without any type of research, whether it be about where we're going, how we will be looked at. We talked about traveling while Black last week, having that type of knowledge, even having recommendations of where we will go. That will send me up the wall. Like if we're sitting there and it's like, okay, I want to go get food. Yeah, where we going? Nobody has a suggestion, a thought, a recommendation. Nah, I'm gonna look on TikTok right now. Right at this bit, while we're in the country, the city, that would, ooh, absolutely not. And some people back, what is that? Type A, whatever. Call me what you want. I can't function like that. And again, it doesn't have to be a 6 to 6:30, 6:45 to 7:30. It doesn't have to be like that, but I need something looked at before we get there. That is a limit that I cannot. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I'm getting jittery thinking about it.
That's a real one, though. I mean, I hear you.
Mm.
I'm gonna do better. I'll make sure I have things saved on the next trip.
Have we been on a trip that you didn't have something planned
out? Typically when I'm traveling with you, you typically have a lot of things already planned. So
I was about to say, if you did I not have something? I was about to say this was not for you. This is
I'm just saying, but I hear you though. So what I hear is when we travel, like you have a responsibility in this private moment, this private form of travel to just come to the table with something.
Like, anything, just anything. Something. Yeah, but for the most part, most people that I travel with, or most times when I travel, like you said, I come with something. So if somebody's like, if we're like, where are we gonna eat? And everybody's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I looked it up. What do you want to do this? We have this. Da, 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 da. So yeah, I'm usually having something in my pocket, but that is a travel limit that I cannot do. So there's that. Y'all put in the comments also, what is y'all's travel limits? We want y'all to talk to us. We talk back, whether you are live or catching the replay. Drop a comment for us and let us know, what is your travel limit? What can you not go on a trip and like you're like absolutely not, can't do it. Nope, ain't happening.
Ain't happening. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and ease into our episode recap. So those of you that have stayed with us this far, thank you so much. Today we talked about bougie, basic, or burnt out, talks of travel limits. The first thing that we talked about was how long is too long to be away. So just a little mini hot take. If you're tired from your vacation, you didn't plan it for your real needs. So just make sure you kind of keeping that in mind. Who you travel with absolutely does matter. The wrong people can ruin the right decision. So to be honest, like Prince said, books, albums, and Black Lives Matter, and so does who you travel with. Okay. Right people, wrong people, right destination equals a bad trip. Mm-hmm. Always. Okay. And then number 3, we talked about, are you really built for a budget travel? Flexibility sounds cute until you're sleeping on a couch in a stranger's living room. Okay. Or they could be that drastic. But the other thing I would also say too is some of me and my homegirls, we're still down to share a room or share a bed to cut down costs. I'm that type of travel girlfriend. I'm okay with it. Now, you need to know your limit in that too. Like, I know guys, y'all typically don't share beds. It need to be multiple beds. But us girls, it'd be like, slide over, girl. Like, we good.
Because I'm probably end up on your bed anyway.
Right. Some people are in their big age right now where they wouldn't do that. And that falls in this category. So are you really built for budget travel? Or is it like, no, everybody need to have their own money for their own room, for their own bed? kind of thing, you know. And then we hit a little confessions with like what was one travel limit you didn't realize you had until you crossed it. So Tia and I share that. We would love to hear what you have to say in the comments. If you're joining us on the replay gang, thank you so much for coming in to the chat. If you made it this far, you listening to us, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. Okay. Yeah. So we're getting ready to slide right on into our celebrations. Okay. We're going to celebrate good times. Thank you, Tia.
You're welcome, girl. I got you.
Buttons. Okay.
I know. It's fine. It's fine.
We're getting ready to slide into celebration. So the journey gets heavy sometimes. Celebrate the fact that you're still carrying it. Amen. Okay.
Amen. Somebody.
Church on Friday.
There we go.
What you got for celebrations, Tia?
For my celebration, and this is why I'd be needing to write stuff down. Oh, I remember. Okay, so my celebration, Branlyn and I have talked about our journey through our brands and our businesses and things like that over the time that we've had the Takeoff in this second season of the Takeoff. The second revamp of the Takeoff and what that looks like. So I'm super excited. I don't know if I said during season 1 about my scholarship program that I have called the Miller Morris program, where I gift passports to first-time havers or people who have never had a passport. I do a scholarship run where they apply and people can win a passport for the first time, and we completely fund it for them to get it. And I've been so proud about that. We've been doing it for the past 5 years, and we're coming up on our next cycle of the Miller Passport Scholarship. But because of that, I have been put in connection with some schools back at home that have asked me to like speak on travel. And I'm so excited about it because it is a passion of mine to empower people, no matter the age, with travel, like talking about it and just making sure that they are aware of what travel could do for them. I know how much it has changed my life, and I didn't talk about it as extensively as I do now because I didn't know about it when I was a kid or in high school. And I wish that I had those opportunities to do more. So through my passport scholarship program, which was just something that I was doing to bless other people to at least take that first step to travel, it has opened up some other doors. And I'm just really excited about what is going to grow from that. I'm excited about the people whose life hopefully will change in some way, whether it's through travel or again, the talks of travel. And yeah, I'm just celebrating what's to come. So I have a speaking engagement coming up in the next 2 weeks, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, God is doing his big one with me, and I'm excited. So I'm celebrating. Whoop, whoop.
That's a good one.
What you got, Busy?
I was trying to find the hand claps, honey. Hand claps.
There you go. I got you, girl. What you got for the people?
You know what? You guys, Tia and I have been doing the Takeoff. We did it a few years back, BC, before COVID. And life happened and it kind of went to the wayside. And then we started travel businesses. Tia started hers first, and then I joined the team a little bit later. Tia's actually coming up on 2 years. She might celebrate that before we get out of here. But you guys, this is episode 10 of season 2. Technically, it's low-key season 3, but it's season 2 of the Takeoff in the format in which we are showing it. And I'm just glad to be a little bit ahead of the curveball for the next week. You guys, when we put together this show, it's really us putting this together. The graphics that you see, we're doing that. Flipping through things. When you hear us saying, where's the applause, child? Because I got on the screen, you know. We are literally building this from the ground up. There's new technology since the last time we did a podcast show of this sorts or anything like this. I'm really, really happy. We talked, was it last week, about the future of what this looks like. So I'm happy about that. But what I'm also really celebrating today is I have already written episode 12, which is the finale.
You know, I saw you post that the other day, and I thought, this week is episode 10. So you go off, girlfriend. Go off.
To be ahead, like I have to remind myself, you guys, one thing that I do to like keep myself from not being too anxious or overwhelmed about all the things I have to do, I remind myself daily, like, or in moments, like, I'm not behind, I'm just not ahead. So, but this is one moment where I'm a little bit ahead and I am just so excited about that. So I'm celebrating the small win of small. It's like, it's bittersweet, right? Because this is episode 10, which means we have 2 more episodes before the finale, or before we end season 2, and we'll be on summer break and getting a lot of good things in and during travel and coming back, the top of season 3, because that's coming. That's coming. So that's my celebration, is the takeoff, it's growth, it's evolution, and the finale is written for season 2.
Let's get it. Let's get it. And hopefully we'll have a different format for y'all. We ain't gonna get too much into it because we got to see what's going on, but we're excited about the finale, which is not final. We're just coming to the wraps of season 2. So I'm proud of you, Bran. Go ahead, girl.
That means I can enjoy my time with my friends in a couple of hours over the
Let's
weekend.
get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
I get to go outside. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So that takes us into the things that Tia does so well, which is tell y'all about what we do, where we do it, how you can find us, the travel businesses we got going on. So Tia Cooper, honey, a real Cooper trooper in the building, the original,
the Cooper trooper.
All right. Things.
So y'all, thank you again so much for tuning in this Friday. We love to talk to you. So talk back, whether you are on the live video or catching the replay. Please like, subscribe, and share. It is so important and it's free. It takes no time at all for y'all to click those buttons, like, subscribe, and share with someone else who loves talking about travel. That's the first thing. Make sure that you are following both Branlyn and I on social media. You can follow Brand at Branlyn Dirmia and me at Tia Takes the World on all social media platforms, okay? When you get to it, don't just scroll. Hit that follow button, like some things, comment if you're feeling okay, if you're feeling a little bit frisky, all right, give us a little bit of something. That engagement helps us to get pushed out to other accounts that are just like you, who love travel, who loves the things that we're talking about, and who loves what we're doing with our brands and with our lives. The next thing, make sure that you catch us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We drop new episodes of the past seasons every Monday. So if you're just trying to play catch up, don't worry, we got you. The next season will be up whenever we start another season. So season 1 right now is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify every Monday, dropping a new episode. So that means that season 2 will be coming whenever we start season 3 back up. But make sure that you are subscribed, leave a comment, a review, all of the things, because it helps us. And guess what? Again, it's free. Y'all be trying to support. Y'all say y'all be trying to support. Do it for the free 99. It takes nothing but a couple of seconds, okay? The next thing, you will hear Branlyn and I talking about our travel businesses and how they have changed the way that we travel, the way that we move, and the way that we collect coins, okay? One of my favorite sayings is the best way to travel is getting paid to do it, all right? I did not realize what I was missing out on in the travel world because I didn't know. Sometimes when you don't know, you just don't know. But now you know, and we're trying to tell you. You can be getting paid for all of those travels that you're taking, whether it be family reunions, destination weddings, whether you're planning your girl's trip, your boy's trip, a batch trip, a spring break trip, a Christmas trip, a cruise, whatever it is that you're doing, what are you getting from it besides the trip? Trips are cool, but don't you want a commission? I don't know. I just got paid last week for somebody else's trip. I didn't even trip, but I got paid for somebody else. I'm just saying, I like to get paid for what I do, and what I do is travel. And if you're traveling too, then you can get paid to do it as well. All you have to do to find out more information is go to travelagentworkshop.com. To follow Branlyn, you can put in the code Never Unpack. To follow me, you can put in Take the World. This means that we will be your personal sponsors. We will help you to start this travel business and be successful in it. You don't know how to book trips as a travel agent? That's cool. We'll help you. You don't know how to collect commissions? That's cool. We'll help you. You don't know how to market yourself? That's cool. What did I say? We will help you. All right. We're not leaving you out there by yourself. Get signed up with us today. Don't wait till tomorrow, because what you waiting for? You like to wait for your job to give you a check? No? Oh, okay. So don't wait to get paid by yourself, because that's what you can do. You can get paid for what you do. All right. Now, again, make sure that you follow us on social media and catch us live every single Friday. We will be here on the Takeoff. We only have 2 more episodes, as Brand said, so don't miss us. Every Friday, we are live right here on YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you get those notifications. Again, like, share, and comment. All free things that you can do so that you can keep up with us. And we appreciate y'all. All right, I'm done. I tried to slow it down, Brand.
I love it when you talk business to the people. You do it so well. You do it so well. I just be over here like, did, and so, yup, what you doing about it?
Would.
Exactly. Amen. Okay, so you guys, this has been a lovely episode. We didn't keep y'all as long the day as we've done on some other days, honey, but we be talking about good stuff. Yeah. You know, so don't hold it against us. Just make sure you listen to some past episodes, catch us on those things that Tia said. And like we do on every show, we close out with a little bit of affirmations. Okay. Mm-hmm. So today's affirmation is, I owe no one an apology for choosing what feels right for me.
Ooh, that's good. That is good.
Let that sit in. Let that simmer for you. I owe no one an apology for choosing what feels right for me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, them, theys, hers, and all the above. Like, this has been another episode of The Takeoff. We're super excited to have you join us each and every Friday. And if you're not joining us on Friday, that's okay, because you can catch us in between time. And in the meantime, just make sure you listen, like, share, subscribe, and get on board so that we can take off.
Hey.
Catch you all next time. Thanks so much.
Bye, y'all.
You're watching The Takeoff.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that you stay locked in for the next journey.
And if you're ready to turn your love for travel into a business, visit thetravelagenworkshop.com and use sponsor code
Take the World or Never Unpack,
and let one of us guide you on your travel entrepreneurship journey.
Until next time,
this has been The Takeoff.